Man, ich verstehe schon, es gibt Angststörungen, wo man da... Nein.
I'll ask the neighbors tomorrow if they saw anything suspicious.
Aber es ist... Den kann ich schlecht irgendwie fragen, der ist da verbarrikadiert oder auch nicht. Was war das für Geräusche wieder? Die Geräusche machen mich fertig.
I wonder if Ridley fixed the coffee machine.
Okay, ich kann mit keinem Nachbarn jetzt einmal reden. Redet mit mir! Ups. Hallo? Wir liegen auch noch immer da, komplett unberührt. Das weist zu sehr immer darauf hin. Ja, schau. Du hast doch gewusst, das Auto. Jetzt steht der andere so. Also das finde ich schon ein nices Detail. Das heißt, da bewegt sich was, da gibt es Leute, die raus und reingehen und. Das finde ich leiwand.
Maybe a bit optimistic. I'd better grab a coffee on the way. I'm exhausted.
Wir haben gerade angefangen. Kann das sein, dass Steven eigentlich nur die Leichen bringt und die muss untersuchen? Dass der wirklich Polizist ist, deswegen hat er angerufen. Hallo?
Good morning, Mr. Ridley. No, he's not here yet? No, I'll do without him.
Das ist natürlich nicht gut.
I hope he... Oh, come on. He was too lazy to even wheel the gurney to the autopsy room.
Es liegt auch noch immer so, als da... Diese vollen Säcke da, alles muss man selber machen. Was?
Almost there.
Lass mich in Ruhe.
Now for the tough part. The body needs to be moved. Where's Ridley when you need him?
Ja.
All right. I just need some gloves and my apron. Then I can get to work.
Ich muss gar nichts anderes machen? Ja, kurz einmal schauen. Es muss schon drinnen sein. Ich meine, das ist jetzt dann nicht. Ich mache nur die Tür auf. So. Ist der Öck das letzte Mal schon da gestanden? Ist das der Arbeitsplatz verändert sich immer? Oder Kaffee nicht?
Awful. It would be good to finally repair the coffee machine.
Es kann eine Fluchtmöglichkeit sein, ja? Deswegen, der Lippenstift liegt da noch immer da, gell? Das werden wir sich einfach genauer anschauen. Also es kann ein Einbruch sein, aber naja gut, vorne ist offen. So, Schürze, Handschuhe. Aha. Heute keine Kamera. Nice. Okay.
Autopsy dated November 22nd, 1991. 7:32 p.m. Led by Dr. Jack Hanman.
Ah, doch zuerst Polizeiakte. Ich hab noch nämlich noch, weiß noch nicht, was da drin liegt.
The identity of the Jane Doe. It's most likely Harper Lloyd, age 35.
Okay.
Found in a well-owned house by her neighbors Leonard and Dorothy Chelsea. Reported missing for a week.
Okay, das schaut nach einer interessanten.
After the Chelsea family began complaining that their tap water tasted strange, and at one point had begun to smell and turn a dark color.
Okay, sie ist also im Brunnen gelegen.
It is also known that the deceased was diagnosed with affective bipolar disorder. Harper was placed on drug therapy, which she dropped out of fairly regularly. During her treatment, she was under the care of her common-law partner, Richard Benson, professional truck driver.
Okay. Das würde ein Unfall ausschauen.
Contact with the deceased was her partner. Harper's last message read as follows. I'm gonna take a shit in their stupid well. Then we'll see who has the last laugh. Nice one. Police records also show that Mrs. Lloyd was in constant conflict with her neighbors. The constant parties and subsequent brawls made living in the area nearly impossible, especially when Lloyd's partner wasn't around.
Das da passt nicht zu dem da. Bei aller Liebe.
I proceed to open the bag and check
Ich will
the
die
state
nicht
of
öffnen.
decomposition of the corpse. The most important task in forensic identification of a drowned person is to distinguish whether the death occurred before or after entering the water.
Könnte man daran merken, wenn Wasser in der Lunge ist. Öffnen wir mal das Säckchen. Es befindet sich hinter Säckchen Nummer 1.
Okay, that could have been worse. I carefully removed the victim's clothes so as not to damage the skin. The deceased was found fully clothed. One shoe is missing. I'm going to need the camera to document all possible suspicious marks. Definitely the first thing that stands out is the very advanced post-mortem gigantism.
So wieder.
The skin of the deceased appears very delicate, smooth, and relaxed from being in the water for a long time. The whole body is extremely pale.
So, da habe ich was gesehen, ja.
There are bruises and hemorrhages on the neck. These usually occur due to increased inhalation when fighting to breathe underwater.
Das könnte Sinn ergeben, ja.
Post-mortem markings are seen on the underside of the body. That is, on the back, thighs, and calves of the deceased. It's likely that the deceased was lying on her back when she was fished out.
Okay. Oh, das ist aber lang im Wasser gewesen.
Washerwoman's skin on the feet.
Wäscherinnenhaut, ja.
The deceased had indeed been in the water for a long time.
Ja, mal das. Mal irgendwas Besonderes noch? Warte mal, da habe ich wieder was gesehen.
There are some obvious scratches on the skin.
Eine Sache fehlt noch, aber was? Mir fällt da mal auf die Garten nichts auf mehr. Die Hände. Und jetzt die Hände zum Himmel. Sage, oder? Fällt der auch? Oder? Der fällt doch auch, oder? Da war was. Narben, oder? Da war ja gerade was. Als ich vorbeigegangen bin. Ah, die
The
Hand.
skin on the hands can be easily separated from the body. The separation takes the form of a glove.
Ja, bei aller Liebe, aber ich sag, das hat mich mehr interessieren. So, das wird der General sein, ja. Face. Chest. Hand. Fuß.
So, after the preliminary exam, it's time to take a closer look at this.
Also nach dem ersten noch mit der ganzen Geschichte würde man sagen, sie hat Medikamente genommen oder nicht genommen und ist danach in den Brunnen gestürzt und dort angesoffen. Die Zeichen zeigen dafür, dass das
Today's date.
dass sie wirklich ertrunken ist.
Rigor mortis does not need to be checked. Based on the state of decay, you can be sure it has subsided.
Okay.
Where to start?
Zuerst
We
einmal
see
beim Mund.
thick white foam in the mouth of the deceased, resulting from pulmonary edema.
Ja.
Foam is a characteristic in deaths due to drowning.
Genau. Das glaube ich auch, sie ist ertrunken. Halt, bitte, kann auf das nur ein Auge hat?
There are obvious scratches on the skin, especially on the back and hands. These could be defensive wounds, evidence of some sort of altercation prior to death.
Könnte sein.
No obvious signs of struggle. The skin on the hands would have easily peeled away from the flesh. Some of the fingers have already lost their nails.
Also wie gesagt, ich hätte auch nicht geglaubt, dass das sind wahrscheinlich, dass so.
Blue-red hue, which is a typical sign of the death of the organism. Yep, pretty typical. Liver mortis are formed as a result of putrefaction of blood in the
Ja.
veins.
Also wie gesagt, für mich
Due
ist.
to
Aber
the
ich hab mich
fact
vorher
that
auch
the
gut.
deceased was wearing shoes all the time, her feet are in better condition than her hands. Nevertheless, we can still notice a clear, wavy skin and the so-called washerwoman's skin texture.
Gut.
Okay, that's probably enough to indicate it. I'd better note that down in the records.
So, wir haben Mund.
Marks found on the neck and foaming at the mouth are typical signs of drowning people.
Ah, ein Lungenödem. Und der Wasser nach Luft zu schnappen. Also hat sie gelebt, als sie in den Brunnen gefallen ist.
There doesn't seem to be anything unusual about this liver mortis. Hands heavily wrinkled from submersion in water, typical washerwoman skin. Considering the deceased's penchant for drinking alcohol, it could have been a mere accident. Diffuse spots are caused by blood rotting in the veins. Those abrasions appear relatively fresh. No healing or scarring is visible. In this case, the question is, was drowning an accident or of suicidal intent? Their distribution suggests that the victim was probably lying on her back when fished out of the water. Fortunately, the skin on the hands didn't fall off. Otherwise, I'd have trouble identifying the deceased. A simple trip, loss of balance, and as a result, you end up in a deep hole with no way out. Liver mortis of a different color could indicate poisoning with carbon monoxide, cyanides, or nitrates. However, this is not the case here. Maybe it's just abrasion, or maybe the result of a fight and being pushed into a well. That's all for now. Before I begin the dissection, I'll make sure the suggested identity is correct.
Fingerabdrücke, ja. Wie?
The suitcase with the fingerprint equipment should be around here somewhere.
Not der.
Scalpel, scissors, syringe, magnifying glass, knife. I guess I forgot to clean the knife. Oh, here it is.
Wir brauchen
If the
einen
body
Pinsel.
of the deceased is well preserved, fingerprinting is similar to that of a living person. With decomposing bodies, the tissue of the pads of the fingers tends to shrink. To remove these shrinkages, a mixture of glycerin or air is used.
Interessant. Aha.
The
Wer hat
fingerprint
gewusst?
sheet should always be checked. Slipping fingers, too much or too little ink, or inaccurate hand position can make fingerprints illegible.
Okay. Interessant, wieder eine neue Sache.
I'm going to conduct a dactyloscopic examination. If in fact the deceased is in the police database, I will find her.
Gut.
Glycerin is injected successively between the nail and the skin of each finger. The substance then enters the fingertip, removing shrinkage and wrinkles.
Ja, achoo. Und jetzt. Mittelfinger, ja.
Now I take a brush. Only when the skin is taut and elastic can you use ink. I think it's enough. I'm
Nein,
getting fingerprint samples.
lass das meine Sorge sein, wenn's genug ist. So, es ist genug.
In the case of drowning victims, you have to be extremely careful. The skin may fall off the hand like a glove when you take the print.
Dann hast du nächstes gleich eine DNA-Probe, oder?
I'll use the fax machine to add the print into the system.
Wo hab ich denn die Faxmaschine gesehen? Die war irgendwo, aber... Ah, da, da.
Green button and...
No.
Once the data uploads, I'll run the prints against the police database on the computer.
Das ist ja mal was ganz was Neues. Das kann ich mit dem Computer auch
It is
arbeiten.
there. Click upload. Now, go through the database and find a matching print. Expect possible hours of fun.
So, aha, okay, die muss ich jetzt dann... Da brauche ich nicht einmal schauen. Ah, der ist interessant.
One more. Analyze button.
Und.
We have a result.
Olgreich.
Everyone has a
Ist
story to
Polizei
tell,
bekannt.
even if it's just a police record. So, as predicted, the deceased turned out to be Harper Lloyd.
Harper Lloyd.
That went smoothly. I'll print this out and attach it to the medical records.
Dann drucken.
November 20th, 1991. The autopsy is conducted by Jack Hanman. During the interrogation, a friend of the deceased admitted there was no indication of an impending tragedy. The body was found naked and mutilated. Sounds disturbing. I'll run the prints against the police database on the computer. The question now is whether it was an accident or a deliberate act. The police information appears correct. In the end, we're all just walking meat. Severe burns, there are bruises and hemorrhages on the neck. Tissue, lacerations, numerous blisters. As if someone was undecided. Why do people do such things? Now we say goodbye to the deceased and put them safely in the fridge. Everyone has a story to tell.